Hello, everybody. Welcome to the call. I am super excited that you are here. You might hear some other people chiming in, and we welcome you as you come on into the call. Thank you for being here. I truly, truly appreciate it. I'm glad that you are here to join me on this journey that I'm embarking on with teaching women about their vaginal health and wellness. So I'm super excited to be here. I hope that you're excited to be here. I hope that you have gotten your pen and your notepad so that you can take notes. You can write down any questions that you may have for later. I'm just super excited that you even decided to take a portion of your evening to join me. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'll get started because there are some people on the line who don't know who I am. So I'm going to talk a little bit about myself so that you know who I am. My name is Nicole Brantley, and I am the owner of Whipped Essentials and the owner of Fresh. I was born and raised in Harlem, New York. I currently reside in Charlotte, North Carolina. I've been here for the last 10 years. I'm a wife, a mother, an entrepreneur. I'm a former therapist. I did child and family therapy. I'm a lover of all things natural, and I am a soon-to-be certified womb sauna practitioner specializing in vaginal steaming. Woo woo! I am super excited about that. That is a whole nother story in and of itself, so I won't get into that. But to all my people in the North Carolina and the surrounding areas, stay tuned for vaginal steaming because that right there is some powerful sacred stuff that is going to change your life. I'll speak it that way. So be on the lookout for that. So my passion is to inspire others and to help people realize their true purpose and potential in all areas of their life. I live by the words decide, commit, succeed. I'm very passionate about health and nutrition, natural and organic products, wealth, and money management. I mean, we're here to live and make a difference in life, but who wants to be broke? We got to have money so that we can travel, we can free ourselves up from these 9 to 5 and do what we are called to do. And that's not sit somewhere for 8 hours and work for somebody else, believe it or not. So I'm all about that wealth and money management and entrepreneurship so that I can have the freedom to do what I want to do, travel with my husband and my son and my friends and my family. So I'm all about that. I'm especially passionate about educating women about their vaginal health and wellness. I believe it is a topic that is oftentimes taboo, but it's stuff that we should be discussing, y'all. As a result of me being so passionate about that, and, you know, I was pregnant with my son, and this lady who used to make my soap, she said she wasn't making the soap no more. I'm packing my hospital bag like, you ain't doing what? So long of the short, you know, after I had the baby and I had some time to myself, I kind of figured out a recipe, and that is how I truly got started with Fresh. And, you know, and Fresh stands for Feminine Restoration, Education, and Solutions for Women's Health. And my mission with Fresh is to educate young ladies and women on how to properly care for their most intimate parts of their body and their skin naturally, because there's so many products out here on this market that are chemically laced, that are, you know, filled with detergents, and they're harmful for our skin and our bodies and essentially cause disease and, you know, the things that we see transpire in people's lives. And I really want people to be aware of those things so that they can change those things in their lives for the better. So from there, I decided to create a space for women to ask and discuss anything that is related to vaginal health and or women's health in general. So that's my Fresh Ladies group on Facebook. And I want to say to you ladies, we really need to begin to shed light on the things that need to be discussed as it relates to vaginal health and wellness issues, instead of treating it, you know, as something that's taboo. In anything, any relationship, anything in life, communication is key. So asking those questions to get those answers, I mean, it can save your life. It can save your sister's life. It can save a community if we all communicate and share this information amongst ourselves. So, ladies, I challenge you to stop making Yoni issues a thing that's taboo and start talking about them. Ask questions in the group. If you're uncomfortable with asking things in the group, feel free to inbox me or email me. I'll give that information out towards the end of the call. And let me tell you, I don't pretend to have answers to everything. I do know a lot because I've researched and I've read a lot, and I've communicated with lots of people, naturopath doctors, and all kinds of people. So I do have a lot of knowledge base, but I don't know everything. Nobody does. But if I don't have the answer, I can direct you to where you can find the answer, or I can give you the answer if it's something that I have. So that is a little bit about me in a nutshell. And so let's get started. So tonight we will be discussing 7 ways to a healthier yoni, and yoni is Sanskrit for vagina, so you'll hear me use those 2 words interchangeably. Tonight's call includes topics such as pH, douching, using commercial soaps, how to wash your yoni, the dangers of traditional sanitary products, benefits to massaging your womb, and your diet and your lifestyle, because all of this is important to the health of your womb. So we'll get started by talking about pH. So I know some people are probably like, well, I've heard of pH, I've heard of pH balance. Well, what is pH? So the P stands for potential, and the H stands for hydrogen. It's the measure of acidity or basicity. The low end being the 0 to 6, which is the more acidic end, and 8 to 14 being more of the basic. And for example, a lemon or vinegar has a pH of about a 2, so it's more on the acidic side. Whereas bleach has a pH of 13, so it's more on the basidic side. And our saliva and our urine are both a 7, making it more neutral. I want to say the water that we bathe in, if you don't have a filter on your water in your home, it's usually about a 7. So maintaining your normal vaginal pH, which is a 3.8 to a 4.5, which is more on the acidic end, is what you really want to go on, and so that's very important. The vagina is naturally acidic, and it contains beneficial bacteria to help ward off infection and maintain a normal pH level. So it is also normal for your vagina to secrete discharge in small amounts. It's part of its self-cleaning process. Much like our saliva that keeps our mouth clean, that's what discharging from your vagina, secreting discharge does. Any imbalance that affects your pH can cause irritation and eventually disease or infection. So things like soaps, because the pH is not on the low end, it's usually on the higher end, your commercial soaps. Semen can throw off your pH balance, because usually semen's between a pH of a 7 to an 8. Too much sugar is and so those are just a few things that can throw off your pH, and that's why it's important to, in the case of semen, it's important to urinate after you have sex to avoid infection. So, you kind of get that semen to come on out of there, and your urine kind of washes it out, If you're one who suffers from chronic yeast infections, also known as candida, you definitely want to cut back on your sugar intake, because that sugar is what feeds the yeast. Also, while we're talking about semen and sex, a tip, coconut oil is a great lubricant. I don't know if you guys use it, but it is a great lubricant. It's antibacterial, antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory. It's like one of the, coconut oil has 1,000 uses, but it's actually a great natural lubricant. So you don't have to worry about chemicals. You don't have to worry about detergents. It's all natural. So if you don't have that on your list of things to use in the bedroom, if you need it, that is one, coconut oil. So the second thing that we're going to talk about is douching. And, the question is always to douche or not to douche. Ever since I grew up, my GYN doctor always told me never douche, never douche, never douche. So you do not want to douche, ladies, with commercial products. They are harsh. They are laced in chemicals and toxins, and they do throw off your pH balance. Even vinegar, because I know some people say, well, I only use vinegar and water, but that can even, your vagina is self-cleaning, so you don't want to do too many things to interrupt the environment in there. Douching can interfere with your vagina's natural pH, which, of course, will throw it off and cause you to have like a yeast infection, for example. And then if you have issues going on down there, douching is only going to cover up the smell, which is, the smell is giving you a sign that telling you something is wrong with your body, something's not right. And if we douche and we covering that up, well, we're just masking the symptom. We're not really getting to the issue. So it only temporarily treats the symptoms, but it does not cure what's causing the issue, much like how Western medicine treats everything else. So, here in the United States or Western medicine, if you got a headache, they want to give you something just to treat the headache. Or if something's going on, they treat that isolated area. They don't try to get to the root cause of the issue and heal you holistically from the inside out. That's never their mission, in case you guys didn't know that. There are some natural forms of douching that can aid in the elimination of disease. I won't go into great detail about that, but I have some resources that have specific materials on, depending on the symptoms that you are suffering from, you can kind of put herbal tinctures together and use that as a douche to kind of rinse out that area. And that's more of a natural form of douching. So that is okay because what you're putting up there is medicinal, if you will. So that's douching, to douche or not to douche. So in most cases, the answer is no, especially when it comes to commercial products like Summer's Eve and things like that. But your more natural forms of douching with herbal tinctures that you put together can definitely be used. But you definitely want to know take that information from a master herbalist who knows what these herbs are and what they do and what they can do when you use them inside of you. The next thing I want to talk about is the effects of commercial soaps. Ladies, we really should not be using traditional commercial bar soap or soft soap to wash our vulva or the inside of your yoni. These products are harsh. They contain detergents and all kinds of chemicals, fragrance. They smell good. We want our yonis to smell good, but we don't need a smelling good soap to get us there. Your vaginal tissue is very, very delicate, and these products can dry them out, which will in turn cause you irritation, and then it'll alter your pH balance, and then it causes disease and infection. So it's like this whole downward spiral when you're using commercial soaps full of fragrance and other chemicals that you really shouldn't be using down there. So as some of you may know, Fresh does carry a feminine cleansing bar for your lady parts that is gentle. It's pH balanced and it's detergent-free. I do recommend that you use it to wash the outside of your yoni and your buttocks, but I don't recommend that you use it on the inside either. But if by chance should you get some in your vagina, you should be fine because it is a pH balanced bar and it is very, very mild. So you don't have to worry about it containing harsh chemicals. Everything that's in it is on the website. You can check it out. I'll give you that information towards the end of the call. How to wash your yoni. I know y'all probably like, how to wash your yoni? I don't need you to tell me how to wash my yoni. But oddly enough, a lot of women, they don't know how to wash their yoni. They don't know that, it is a self-cleaning oven, if you will. So because your yoni is self-cleaning, all you really need to wash it with is warm water and your hands. And I know y'all probably like, my hands? But yes, your hands. Your hands are clean. The reason it's best to use your hands is because washcloths, sponges, rags, whatever you want to, call it or whatever it is that you use, they all harbor bacteria even after they've come out of the laundry. So those bacteria can enter your vagina and then cause you a whole host of problems, infections, etc. So that's why I suggest using your hands. You'll see some sources that'll say, don't use soap, but you can use a washcloth. I mean, it's totally up to you and your level of comfortability. But I really think that we should be comfortable with our yonis. I mean, we let doctors put all kinds of stuff up in there to look in there, and so you should be comfortable with your yoni. And for me, when I made the switch from not using soap and not using a washcloth, I can definitely tell you that my yoni is much fresher, and that's just being honest with you guys. Ladies, also after a bowel movement, you want to make sure you are wiping from front to back. You want to avoid bacterial contamination from fecal matter that can also cause other infections. So that's important. You'd be surprised at how many grown women don't know that. I mean, because the reality is if you're never taught, you don't know. But that's important. So your yoni is self-cleaning. All you need is a little bit of warm water to rinse it clean every day. And I know at first, if that's not something that you do, it may seem strange, but trust me, it doesn't need a soap smelling like a garden of flowers to get it fresh. Actually, that's going to cause you some smell and some discharge and some other stuff. So the next thing is the effects of commercial tampons, pads, and panty liners. I'm not sure if you guys, there's several resources that have been posted in the group, so I'm not sure if you guys have read through any of those articles, which are some pretty, good stuff. But our traditional feminine hygiene products, they are laced with chemicals and toxins. And there's millions of women, approximately 43 million women in the U.S. use tampons, and millions more use sanitary napkins. So, I mean, that's a lot of us. And just think about it for a moment. Think about a chemically laced tampon sitting for hours in your most sacred space, your thin, your delicate, most absorbable tissue, just sitting there for hours and hours, flooding your womb and your bloodstream with these toxins. I mean, it is dangerous. It is dangerous. The chemicals that are in these products, like your dioxin, which is a carcinogen, it's dangerous to be having year after year, month after month, we're using these products and they build up over time. Don't think that cervical cancer is a coincidence. Don't think that endometriosis is a coincidence. It's definitely not. It's definitely the chemicals and things that we use on our bodies that we think are safe, but they really aren't. So that's the importance of label reading and reading, even what's in your pads, because they are toxic. In addition to that, commercial pads and panty liners keep moisture and warmth near your vagina because of the plastic that they are made with, which can cause infection. So it's especially recommended that you do not use these products when you aren't on your period. So if you're not on your period, I know some women like to wear panty liners, but trust me, if you ditch the panty liners, the discharge will stop. If you ditch the soap, the discharge will stop. I mean, you're going to have some because it's natural for your vagina to secrete, little bits of discharge here and there. But that overall sweating and discharge and odor, all of that stuff will clear up if you stop using the panty liners, if you stop using the soap inside your yoni, and just pay attention to your body. You'll definitely see the difference. But when you're not on your period, you don't want to wear those products. Because like I said, cervical cancer and endometriosis, just to name a few, have been associated with the dioxin that are found in the products, which is known, dioxin is known as a human carcinogen. So like I said, there's resources in the group that are very good. I was reading an article that said how in the late 1990s, the cotton and the rayon they used to make tampons with were bleached in elemental chlorine gas, which is known to leave dioxin residues. And dioxin is a pervasive environmental contaminant and a known human carcinogen. It accumulates in the body fat over time with repeated exposure. And, so they said that they took out the dioxin and they only bleached with elemental chlorine-free bleaching. That was one of their process in total chlorine-free bleaching. But the reality is that when they tested it, they still found detectable levels of dioxin in 7 brands of tampons that are still on our market, that our FDA still allows to be on our shelves. And these included the 100% cotton brands. So, my recommendation is instead of using, your Always or your Kotex or, whatever, your Carefree, opt for those cloth pads and those cloth panty liners. It's your blood. How powerful your menstrual cycle is a whole nother call. But it is your blood. Do not be afraid of it. You use wet bags to put your pads and your panty liners in after you've used them. you'll get washing and drying instructions. I'm going to be adding cloth liners and cloth pads to the Fresh store in the upcoming week. So you guys can look out for that, but definitely switch that up. You want to use that, or you want to use menstrual cups such as the Diva cup. And I know there's some other menstrual cups that are out there, and you can always go to YouTube, look it up, look at what people are using, look at how they're inserting them. Get familiar with this, and let's get away from these chemicals that we're putting in our bodies, because it's really not benefiting us, and it's really causing us womb imbalances. And so we really want to get away from that. So that is pretty much commercial. And I can go on and on and on about the tampons and the pads and liners, but for the sake of the call, I'm going to wrap that up. Next, we're going to talk about the benefits of womb massaging, and I know a lot of people don't do this. I was recently introduced to it not too long ago, and I have to admit that it is a very, very beneficial of a practice to take on. Womb massaging is absolutely a great practice. There are several benefits to massaging your womb, and I'm just going to call out a few of the benefits of womb massage. It increases the flow within the abdomen to increase oxygen to your organs. It stimulates the body's natural detoxification process. And I'm sure you guys know how important detox is to the body. I mean, it's every time you eat, you should be eliminating. So stimulating your body's natural detoxification process is absolutely amazing. It releases emotional tension. It relaxes tension in the muscles surrounding your colon. And if you guys don't know where your womb is, you can stick your thumbs together, stick it in your belly button, and bring your hands down in that space right in the middle of your hand. That is your womb. Womb massage also helps dislodge built-up fecal matter from your intestinal walls. The plus is this is something that you can do yourself. You don't have to go to your doctor to do it. You can massage your own womb and give your own self these amazing benefits. It's a natural laxative to kind of get things moving. What I love most about it, ladies, is that it helps you attune to your womb, which actually speaks to you. Your womb speaks to you. When you do certain things, when you eat certain things, when you've done certain things to your body, your womb will speak to you. If you attune to her and quiet yourself and you listen, if you're in a meditative state, if you lay flat on your back, if you're sitting up and you're just in a quiet meditative space, your womb will speak to you, whether that's via aches. It speaks to you in all kinds of ways. So, and like I said before, most women are disconnected from their womb. So attuning to your womb is an amazing practice to get to make one of your daily practices. So you can do this daily. You can do it several times a week. But the more you do it, the more you'll align with your womb, I promise you. And it is an amazing experience. This is your most sacred place. It is the seat of creation. I mean, everything comes from our womb. The ideas, the thoughts, everything, not just babies, all kinds of creativity. So you want to attune with that so that, you can give your gifts to this world. Everything that you were created to do on earth, you can get it right from attuning to your womb. So also in females, it aligns the pelvic bone and the uterus to the proper positions. So those are some of the benefits of womb massage. And Fresh will be offering aromatherapy womb massage oils in the near future. So look out for those. Those of you who are truly interested in this, go ahead and Google it, Google womb massage. Look it up. Look at YouTube videos if you want to learn exactly how to massage and experience those benefits. So that is womb massage, benefits of womb massage. And last but certainly not least, is diet and lifestyle. A well-balanced, high alkaline, nutritious diet and drinking plenty of water, of fluids, especially water, spring water, alkaline water. Those things are key to vaginal and reproductive health. In fact, there are certain foods that effectively aid in treating your vaginal problems. Like there are times that I have recommended that people use yogurt suppositories. They cure your yeast infection. So you can make suppositories out of yogurt, plain yogurt, none of the sugars included, and you can actually insert that for a certain amount of time, make it like a tampon, if you will, with a gauze pad, the yogurt, and some string, and go ahead and insert that and make a yogurt suppository. Cranberry juice is also another good one. Although I don't recommend cranberry juice, I prefer to take cranberry tabs or recommend cranberry tabs because the sugar content in cranberry juice can be really high, which if you're trying to fight a yeast infection is counterproductive. So cranberry tabs are an alternative option. The reality, ladies, is that having a high acidic diet can lead to womb imbalances. And so foods that create an acidic environment in our bodies are meats, our dairy, sugar, and starches. So diets heavy in meat, dairy, sugar, and starches, they're very acidic and they are mucus forming. So the dairy is not the only thing that creates mucus. Meats can create that, starches can create that, and sugar can create that. So if you're looking for a way to say, well, how do I get started? I do want to feel better. I do want better yoni health. How can I get started? You want to eliminate white flour, white rice, potatoes, and pasta, because all of that stuff breaks down to sugar, all of it. So an alternative diet that you want to start to hone in on, and this is not something you're going to do overnight if this is not already your lifestyle. You want to start working on a diet that is high in fruit, high in vegetables, nuts and seeds, and grains opposed to rice. So, you have your quinoa as a grain. You have millet. You have barley. So there's other grains that you can learn to incorporate in your meals instead of using rice, which breaks down to sugar. And you'll be really surprised at what you can do with nuts and seeds. I do have a friend on the line who, when I was stepping up my raw food intake, she really put me on to different nuts that I could soak and make meat pâtés out of it, raw pâtés, which are the substitute for meats in a bunch of things like tacos or burritos. You can even use raw nuts that you soak to make fall tuna fish, but it's really not tuna, but it tastes like it when you put the right seasonings in it. You can spiralize your veggies like zucchini, for example, to make pasta noodles instead of using, regular pasta that'll end up breaking down to sugar. So, get acquainted with people that eat a more, vegan, if you will, or holistic raw food lifestyle. They share that kind of, they live that kind of lifestyle, and they can share the things that they eat with you, and that can assist you with moving on to bigger and better things. YouTube is your best friend, as my friend Brooke always says. You can find anything out there. So those are some things that you want to start doing to move away from the products that are not good for us, such as the meats, the dairy, the sugars, and the starches. This is not going to be popular, ladies. It's just not, because we are in a society that is very superficial, and we have our ladies, and I'm not knocking anybody, but we wear our weaves and we wear our nails and we do all this stuff, and we don't realize the other chemicals that we need to consider because we consume them without thought. So, we wear these, nail polish is toxic. And, when I learned that, I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? So I'm like, well, is there non-toxic nail polish? So I did some Googling and searching, and I found a couple companies that, have non-toxic nail polish. I loved my gel nails. I haven't had them in a while, but I mean, I loved my gel nails. But then I read this article that was like, oh, gel nails have this in it, and if you have the dryers that are the UV rays, your skin is not protected when you're under there drying your nails, and it can do A, B, and C. And I'm just like, really? Yeah, really. So, and ladies, our hands are a direct portal to our wombs. So we really have to be careful what it is that we put on all parts of our body. I mean, they're equally important. Just think about I used to be back in the day, a nail tip fanatic. So, I think back and I'm like, oh my God, you remember the smell of acrylic? You got the person who's doing your nails with a mask on and you sitting in there breathing the fumes. But not only that, those chemicals are absorbing in your nails, which is getting into your bloodstream. The glue that we use for weaves, that's another one. And the latest fad, these lashes, I don't even want to talk about that because some of these chicks with these lashes looking like snuffleupagus, I'm like, Lord have mercy, they got to be that long. I mean, they look nice, but I mean, at the end of the day, we got to be careful with trends and what fads we're just jumping on the bandwagon of and not knowing, what this poses as far as a health risk is concerned. So that glue that they use in your hair, that glue that they use on your lashes, what's in that? That stuff can be toxic. Perms, I recently posted an article in the group where they were saying that perms, feed fibroids. I mean, the list just goes on and on. So all of these chemicals get into our bloodstream. They create imbalances in our body. And when we have imbalances in one area, there's usually imbalances in the other areas. So this is why we just can't treat the symptoms. We have to treat the root cause. And we have to heal ourselves from the inside out by treating our mind, body, and spirit. So to wrap this up, we're going to avoid fried foods, ladies. We're going to cut back on our sugar intake and those foods that break down to sugar, like the pastas and the rices and the potatoes. We're going to replace dairy with things like seed or nut milks. I made the change years ago. I started off with rice milk, and then I moved on to almond milk, and it's just been great. A lot of people say they're lactose intolerant. Some people say that they aren't. The reality is none of us should be drinking a cow's milk. It is filled with pus. It is filled with antibiotics and all kinds of other nasty stuff that doesn't belong in our bodies, that we put the burden on our bodies to break this stuff down. So incorporate more green live juices. That makes a difference. If you're not a big veggie person, start juicing and put all those green things in there and drop a pineapple or drop 2 apples, and it'll sweeten it and it'll mask the taste of the veggies, when you're starting off. And then you want to eventually build up to just have some just veggie juice at times. But it's great. It's a great way to get a ton of nutrients in at one time because you're consuming so many vegetables in its, juice form. It's already digested. So when your body takes it in, it's giving your digestive tract a rest because it actually doesn't have to break that juice down because it's already broken down, if you will. We're going to cut back on our animal flesh consumption. I know everybody's truth is not to be meat-free, and that is your choice. But cut back on the consumption. I mean, you don't have to have it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Make it fun, meatless Mondays or meatless, Wednesdays or what have you, or I'm going to have meat with breakfast, but I'm not going to have it with lunch and dinner. Just find creative ways to eliminate it from your diet. And I promise you won't miss it. And you'll feel so great that you won't want it. So just give it a try. That's the first step, honestly. Eating more fruits and vegetables, of course, and drinking plenty of water. Either spring or alkaline water are the 2 best kinds for you to drink. And drink it and start including herbal teas. This is something that I'm working on. There's a lot of great teas that are awesome for vaginal health. Your red raspberry leaf, your dandelion tea. I'm trying to think of something else. I got the Po Diaco, which is really great, for yeast infection. What else do I have in there? I have so many teas. I was cleaning out my cabinet the other day, and I'm like, Lord, you are a tea hoarder. You need to drink some of this tea. So drinking herbal teas is another great way to flush out toxins in your body. So take it one step at a time, ladies. You don't have to have it all together, and you don't have to do it all overnight because you didn't get to where you were overnight. So that is it. I hope this call was helpful for you, informative. I hope you were able to take good notes. If you wrote down any questions, I'm going to open it up in just a second for Q&A. I just hope that you wrote something down that you can take away and put to action right away, because we definitely want healthy wombs. Like I said, they are a sacred seat of creation and we just want to be able to do everything that it is that we are here to do, and we need to be able to attune and listen and hear from her. So you can find me on Facebook if you're not already on there at www.facebook.com/groups/Fresh Ladies. So that's Facebook. Again, that's www.facebook.com/group/Fresh Ladies. You can also find me on Instagram at fresh_ladies. Again, that's at fresh_ladies. If there's some questions that you're uncomfortable with asking in the group, but they are burning questions that you want some answers to, feel free to email me at whippedessentials@gmail.com. That is WHIPPEDDESSENTIALS@gmail.com. And our takeaway message for tonight is take care of the womb of your mind, body, and spirit so that it can take care of you. So I'm going to open the call. I'm going to unmute everyone and open the call for questions and answers at this time.
Sacramento Kings select.
All right. You are unmuted. Okay. Hold on one second. Hold on. All right, Jennifer, you're unmuted. What I'm going to do, ladies, is if somebody's background noise is really loud and I can't really hear, so if you want to ask a question, you can unmute yourself by pressing **. But Jennifer's unmuted at this time, and she's going to ask her question. Go ahead, Jen.
Okay. You know the pH strips you can get from the health store that you pee on. When you pee on those strips, does it tell the pH balance of your whole body, including your yoni?
I think those strips only tell you the pH. I don't think so. I've never used them, so I can't answer that.
So how can you tell the pH balance down there?
Well, for me, when your pH balance is what it's supposed to be, which is 3.8 to the 4.5, you will have minimal discharge. You will have little to no odor. And, you won't have any itching. You won't have any signs of disease. It will be fresh down there. So that is how you can tell. And now, if your pH is off, you may have a smell. You may have discharge that is yellow or green or off-white, off in color. And usually the smell is what gives away that something is going on down there. Other symptoms like itching or burning or things like that. Or you have pain in your abdomen or something like that. So those are ways to tell that it's off. If it's fine,
but there's no product that you can insert or nothing like that to tell you exactly what it is?
Not that I'm aware of. And I'm not familiar with the pH strip, so somebody might be able to answer that question, but I don't know about the pH strips because I've never used them.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Is there anybody else that has a question or a comment at this time? Everybody is muted out, so you can press * to unmute yourself.
Nicole, am I unmuted?
Yes. I heard two people
Okay.
unmuted. Somebody with 909-379, and then Brooke is
That's me.
unmuted. Okay.
Okay. I can wait.
Okay.
You can go ahead. How do
Brooke.
I unmute?
No, you're fine. Brooke said you can go. So 909-379. Can you tell us your name and where you're calling from?
I am Gigi. I'm calling from San Bernardino, California.
Hi, Gigi.
I got on the hello. I got on the call a little bit late. I was watching a movie with my son, and I didn't want to stop him. But anyways, I heard you saying something about vaginal discharge, and I happen to have uterine prolapse, so I get a lot of discharge. And I also have PCOS, so my period is irregular. I started seeing a female wellness practitioner, and she was amazing. I've been doing these supplements, and so for the past 3 months, like my period has tried. 1 month I got it, and it lasted like a long time, like almost 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Last month it came, it didn't last, but maybe a day or two. And then this time it's still trying to break its way through. And I've noticed that when it's like starting, it's brown. Do you know what that could be?
You said when it's starting, it's brown?
Yeah.
The blood's really dark?
Like it seems like when it's trying to make its way out, like it must be that there's some type of blockage, because I don't want to get like too graphic.
No, but that is exactly what it is. When your menstrual blood is not bright red and it is dark, closer to brown, that is exactly what that is. It is a blockage. It is a blockage.
So that, because each month it starts off that way.
It is definitely a blockage. Honestly, the thing that I would recommend, I'm not sure. You said you're in California? Okay, I'm not sure that we have any womb sauna practitioners out that way, but I know several women who have sat on that pot and got that vaginal steam and have started pulling those toxins down. And my mentor actually healed herself from PCOS.
That is why I'm actually starting to. I did go and see somebody, but she's through the Yoni Steam Institute. And she lives right near me, and I just can't afford to go and see her like she recommended for me to see her. But she did make me a custom tea blend, and then I've also been taking supplements on my own. And so for me to even have, my body trying to see a period 3 months in a row, I was like, what? I was like so excited. So,
so
I have a really bad facial hair problem too.
And I want to say,
and it's getting a little bit better.
That I was going to say that's one of the symptoms of it. Yep. But yeah, that sounds awesome. I would see if she could recommend, is the tea blend that she gives you, is it for you to take orally?
Yes.
Okay. You might be able to put that blend in a pot and sit over a pot and steam yourself. I mean, there's benefits to it, a professional doing it. But, those in-between steams where you just can't afford to, be in her office every week at whatever her price is, you might want to do some maintenance steams on yourself. So I don't know if she'll recommend.
And so I would just put a pot in the toilet and sit over it, or I've been kind of trying to look online.
Yeah, there's not a lot out there online. It's because it's a new industry, if you will, embarking, and people are trying to pioneer it and bring it to the light and let people know that this is a legit medicinal way to heal disease. So it's on the rise. It's kind of like how Reiki was before Reiki was known for its healing abilities. They had to kind of get it out there and prove this and prove that, and now doctors are using it in the surgery rooms. But it's something that you and I can talk about offline, but it's not, you want a controlled kind of a heat. So you want a pot that has controls on it so that you can turn it up and down. You don't want to just put it on in a pot that you would cook with, because, once it starts cooling down, that's it. You want a constant temperature, that's kind of radiating there and and getting in there and steaming. So, but we can talk more, Gigi. I know that I remember your name. We're friends on Facebook, so we can talk some more about that.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Good luck with that. I'll mute you back out.
Thank you.
All right, Brooke.
Hey, real quick, I've never done a womb massage before, so I was wondering if you would kind of give us some steps for doing those. And I know you told us how to locate our womb, but if you just kind of give a little bit more detail, that would be great.
Sure. So like I said, you put your two thumbs together, you stick them, in your belly button and bring your hands down, and that is kind of like your womb space right there. So you would just take your oil and you would just massage all around your abdomen area. So from underneath your belly button all the way down to like right up above your pubic bone, and just massage that whole area, even the sides, to break up, that fecal matter that's in your intestines. So there's YouTube videos out there that you can see a live person kind of do that, if that description wasn't the greatest for you. But it's really just, when you think of massage, hands in and out, going in circular motions, all around, like pushing, like almost like a deep tissue massage, and just really moving that your hands around in that area, as much as you can bear, and it'll work. And you want to use a nice massage oil that is filled with essential oils that have great benefits for your womb. So if you plan on making it yourself, that's something that you can look into. Like I said, we'll be carrying those soon. So if you want to wait, you can. If not, you can go ahead and get started on your own. But thanks for asking. That was a great question.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? You can press ** to unmute yourself if you have a question or a comment.
This is Jennifer again. I got one more question since you mentioned it. Okay, you know how, like, you were just talking about how to locate your womb, right? So you know how some women have the muffin top under the bottom. Does that fat in that area affect your womb?
You say if you have, like, if your belly kind of spills over?
Like in that area, in that womb area. Does that affect your womb?
Well, I'll say this, and this is something that I learned years ago. Whenever we have a large belly, larger than normal, now some of us have had kids, so our bellies are not going to look beach flat, bikini ready. We're going to have a little bit of flab, in there. We've had babies. We've stretched our skin. But whenever you have a large belly, that is a sign of illness. That is a sign of disease. So whether you know it or not, there's usually something going on, because a large belly is not healthy. So to answer your question, anything that is extra is really not good for the womb. It can put it out of balance.
Okay.
But, I mean, that doesn't take away from you, massaging that area and all that stuff. You can still, when you lay flat, your stomach will go back and you still have access to it, just as if it wasn't there. So if you do have a large stomach and things kind of spill over, you just want to lay on your back and flatten it out and then massage yourself that way.
Okay, thank you so much. That's perfect.
You're welcome. Anybody else had a question? I see a couple of you unmuted yourself. Do you have a question, Lucretia?
This is Romina. How are you? I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Hi, Romina. How are you?
I'm good. I just have a quick question. It sounds like I've been having issues for the past year and a half. You might would say I'm a gym nut. I go to the gym all the time, and it's like I know to shower as soon as I get home, take the wet clothes off. I stop putting the powders down there. But it's like every time, like, my cycle is getting ready to start next week, as soon as my cycle stops, I get a yeast infection.
Okay,
Is there anything that I can do, because I'm keep constantly going to the doctor, and that's like money after money. Is there anything that I can do naturally to keep that pH balance correct?
Well, first thing is, and I don't mean to sound insensitive, but we have to stop running to the doctor for everything.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is because, and I was one who, ran to the doctor and got creams and got this, but the reality is they treat the symptoms, they don't treat the root cause. So they're giving you a cream that's gonna, that'll kill the candida somewhat, but it's not killing it totally. So it comes back. I don't know how your sugar intake is, but sugar is one of the number one things that feed that yeast and make it, unbearable and really itchy and constantly coming back. Another thing is you can drink the Po-Diarco tea without sugar if you can, or, get a substitute like honey, but I would really recommend you just taking it down.
Okay.
Let it cool down, let it not be too hot for you, and just go ahead and gulp it down and get it down, because that is a great one for yeast infection. So starting to include herbal teas in your diet at night, even throughout the day, is a great way. I'm not sure if you, what was I getting ready to say to you? I know the teas is one way. They just posted a great, there's a great post in the group about women inserting the vitamin C tablets up there to kill the yeast infection, and supposedly that's effective. I've never tried it, so I can't speak to its effectiveness, but the woman who posted it in the group, she said anytime she's ever had yeast infections, which are far and few between, it's always killed it, and it's always been great. The health store, which I think we posted that link in the group a couple of times. Okay. He's a master herbalist, Tahuti Ma'atra, and he pretty much has an array of female products that are natural products, usually made from herbs. If Brooke can unmute herself, I want to say Brooke told me about a product that she purchased recently from there. And Brooke, can you unmute yourself and tell us a little bit about that product that you purchased? I don't want to call the wrong name.
Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, okay. Yeah, I don't have a problem talking about that. Let me find the actual name of it. Actually, did I link it? Yeah, I sure did. It's actually a wound cleanse, and it's on sale right now for $25.99, and it's normally $99.95. So, that's an amazing price. And he basically calls it, this is actually his fibroid buster cleanse. Now, I personally don't have fibroid, but I just finished doing his 20-day detox. And so I just thought this would be kind of like a good follow-up detox, because it focuses solely on, the feminine areas. And it's another 20-day detox, and he also suggests that you do raw food, which was tough for me. I did a lot of vegetarian dishes, but I incorporated some raw. But because I'm not a raw foodist, that was really challenging. So I did try to keep it as close to vegetarian as possible, but I slipped up and I didn't beat myself up about it either. But it's actually 6 different formulas, and I'll just really read them really quickly.
Okay.
He has a septic formula. He has a vaginal maintenance formula. He has a menstrual aid formula, an acid mucus dissolver formula, a cyst tumor reducer, and an intestinal tract aid. And I can't speak for this one yet because I haven't done it, but on that full body cleanse, it got rid of my allergies within the first use. I have not had to go back on my allergy medicine at all. And I used to have to take 20 milligrams every night before bed. So just based on that one experience, based on my experience, his stuff works. And I'm going to try this, and I'll be able to give, a review of it once I complete it. But I would definitely, for that price, I would give it a shot. And if you go on his website. Oh, go ahead.
Okay. No, I was going to ask for the website.
It is actually
Mhm.
Go ahead,
Go ahead,
Brooke.
Nicole. Okay, it's thehealthstore.com, one word. And if you're in the group Fresh, I actually have a link for it, and I'll actually post it. I'll repost it so it's at the top of the page. But I have a link for a specific cleanse because his website can be overwhelming because he has so much stuff. I want to repost it in the Fresh group.
Okay, thank you so much.
And Romina, I really think that while you're trying to get over this, that cutting that sugar back is going to be important, and sugar is in so many things, and it's not an easy thing to do, but it's definitely something that is necessary. I mean, there's a lot of literature out there for candida, but most people are like, I still have every month, every week. Another thing that I've learned as a womb sauna practitioner is that because our womb records everything, that a lot of us are holding on to things emotionally, things from our past, things that has happened to us years ago in our childhood, things that may have happened in adulthood, but we record those things and we hold on to them and we don't release, which causes blockages and which causes disease because our womb is out of balance. And so a huge part of that vaginal steaming is that it pulls down toxins, but it's almost like a therapy session in that we get to resolve some really, really deep-rooted issues that may come up for you. And I know a lot of women who have had these steams that have had, the mommy issues, the daddy issues, I've been molested, I've just all kinds of stuff, and have had fibroids and all kinds of diseases in their physical womb. When they got rid of that emotional baggage, their disease went away because that was their imbalance, if you will. So vaginal semen is very sacred. It's very powerful. I can't wait to bring it to the Charlotte area. It is coming very, very soon. But it is very powerful. So it's multifaceted, if you will. So it's not like one little thing that we can pinpoint and say, do this and it's going to work, or do that, it's going to work. That's why I said you really have to take that holistic approach by treating your mind, your body, and your spirit. So, that meditation time to clear your mind is very important. What you put into your body is very important, and what you do for yourself spiritually is also important. So the three of those together, holistically makes up who you are. And so if one is out of balance, usually they all are. So, I mean, Brooke's going to post that link. That was a good recommendation for that product. I remember when she told me about it the other day, and I'm sure that it's more for people than just those who have fibroids. My son, who's 16 months, I just did the children's detox with him, and he had great results from that. I wanted to see his eczema clear up a little bit more, but I know that eczema is unpredictable, and I know that is also multifaceted. But as far as his allergies and how his nose was running and how, all this stuff that was affecting him, I've seen a tremendous turnaround. So their potency is a little bit weaker, if you will, for the kids. So I'm sure that, a couple of rounds of that 7-day detox, you got to take a couple of weeks off in between for the kids, but I'm sure that I'll continue to see great results.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Nicole, can I say one more thing?
Sure.
Lemon water is a great way for us to bring our bodies back towards that pH of, I guess you said it should be a 7?
Our vaginas are more acidic, but our bodies, yes.
Well, to bring the vagina back closer to that 7, lemon water is really good for that.
Lemon water has excellent benefits. I believe somebody posted something about lemon. I think Angie, you posted lemon water in Fresh the other day. It was a great article. If it wasn't Fresh, it was another group that I'm in, and I'm sure Angie's on the call and she can post that in there. But that was a great article. I mean, upon rising, that is the first thing that I put in my body. And if I don't have lemons, alkaline water is just as great. It has the same benefits and the same amount of alkalinity. So if I'm out of lemons, I'll just go ahead but I make sure that I get 8 to 16 ounces of that in my body first thing before I put anything in my body. And I don't eat a traditional breakfast, you guys. I just do a fruit smoothie that I make every morning for me and my family. And that's usually my breakfast. If I get hungry, I'll snack on some nuts. And every day I bring an additional smoothie for my mid-morning snack if I get hungry, so that because my thing was I had to step up my raw food game. I don't use microwaves because of the radiation, and something just really turned me off about that, and it really clicked for me, and I'm like, no, you got to get serious about this microwave. So when I pack my lunch, it's always raw, and that is the way that I get my alkaline foods in on a daily basis. It's really a mindset thing, and once you change your mind and say, this is what I want, it is very doable. It's very possible with planning. So I don't want to keep you guys too long. We could talk about this all night. I absolutely love it. So, Lucretia, I know that you unmuted before I muted you back out. If you had a question, please press star to mute yourself back out, or anybody else that had a question.
Am I on?
You are on.
Okay. Hey, Nicole. I have a question. You mentioned about the cloth pads. Are those reusable, or how does that work, like when you're out about doing a thing?
Great question for somebody else that might want to know that answer. And Jennifer will probably chime in after I'm done. She's made the switch, and she absolutely loves it. They are reusable. Cloth diapers are almost like, cloth diapers. Cloth pads are like cloth diapers. I'm not sure if you have any experience with those, but there's like a material in the middle that's called Zorb, and what it does is it sucks the liquid into the middle, so it keeps it away from your skin, and it keeps from touching your skin or being wet up against your skin. And so you can wear it for several hours in a day. When you take them off, you want to put them in a wet bag. What they call a wet bag, and it's a special material bag that kind of like keeps odor in, keeps the wetness in. Nothing's going to leak out. And that's where you would store your pads while you're using them. So you wash them, separate. You soak them in cold water. There's some instructions to it. So you soak them in cold water. I'm not sure if you have to use peroxide or that kind of thing, but then you throw them in the wash after they've soaked, and you let them dry themselves. Most companies tell you don't dry them in the dryer, let them air dry. So they're kind of like a disposable, not a reusable cloth diaper, if you will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I need to make the switch. All the way now, that's something I'm liking in right there. So.
I can give you some information. This is Jennifer.
Okay. Oh,
okay. So with most of the cloth pads, you do have to have some type of stain remover because it will stain. So I just use like they got like Fels Napa laundry bar soap or something like that for a stain remover. And you don't have to wash them immediately. You can wait to the end of your cycle because you keep them in a container that's open. I normally keep them under my toilet in a container that's open, and you can just let them air dry out. I've smelled them. Blood doesn't really have a smell. What happens is the chemicals in the regular pads causes you to smell on your period. So I don't even have the smell anymore because I smelled the pad to see was there going to be a smell, and there's no smell with the cloth. Once you go to the cloth, you're not going to want to go back to the regular pads. Now, with the cloth ones, you do have to monitor them because some of them will leak more. I tried 2 different brands. So you just have to see when your heavy days and when your light days and just balance the cloth. They said about after 4 to 5 washes is when it becomes its maximum absorbability. So about after 4 or 5 washes, you'll know how much maximum you'll be able to put in each pad. But normally they may last about 3 to 4 hours a day, and then because that's about what time you go to the bathroom. So and then you change them, and I just carry a little bag with me to work, and most of them when they make them they have like little flaps where you can fold them in and fold them over. So and then you just stick it in there. So it's very convenient. I love them. I ain't ever used going back. So and when my daughter gets older, I'm gonna make sure I start her on them. So, very good.
Thanks,
okay,
Jen.
thank you.
And Lucretia, what I'll do is I watched a couple of awesome videos on them while I was trying to find me a wholesaler. So I can post a couple of those videos out in the group so that you can see. This one girl, she did a review on several companies' pad, so you can kind of get to see the shapes and the colors and the the different fabrics and stuff like that are out there.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Is that all? And Lucretia
Yes,
is my she's my raw foodie friend, y'all. She be giving me all the bomb ideas, and then I'll send her a picture of my food. She be like, "Oh, hold up now, you doing it a little bit too good. What you doing over here?" So, yeah, that's my raw foodie friend. Lucretia, you want to tell them a little bit, real quick, about how long you've been raw and kind of how you keep it simple?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been raw. I started off as a vegetarian, then vegan, and now I'm mostly raw. And I've been doing raw now for about a year now. And I can say ever since I've been eating mostly raw, that my skin cleared up. It seemed like I'm more creative. My cycles, which was very heavy, that lasted for like 7 days, are down to 3 days. And my heaviest day is like, the first day is really, really light. The second day it's a little heavier, and then by that third day, it's kind of, leaving. Have a lot of energy. And when I first started eating raw, I was on YouTube trying to follow all these different recipes and was eating more like gourmet raw. But now I just keep it really simple. Like in the morning, it's like a smoothie because, when you go to sleep at night, you're fasting. So you wake up in the morning, you don't want to eat nothing so heavy. So you want to break your fast, like with a smoothie, something like that. And for lunch, I have like a salad. It's like now I'm not that much I'm not hungry anymore. So it's really, really simple. But I can do like Nicole said, the tacos, the raw burritos. There's a lot you can do with raw. The it's like chicken, but it's not really chicken salad, tuna salad. You can do like potato salad, but not with the potato, but with jicama. That's really good. You can do a lot with eating raw, and you will be full too.
And what I like, Lucretia,
and
is you don't have to sacrifice. What I like is you don't have to sacrifice flavor. Like a lot of people think when you go raw or you leave meat, you don't get the seasonings or you don't get the flavorful food, and it's actually delicious food. I mean, I am hooked on collard green wraps.
Yeah,
delicious.
You can do so much with collard green wraps. Just put whatever you want in there. It's really good.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
Raw can change your life. You're welcome.
And if you guys see Lucretia in the group and you click on her picture, you'd never think she's her freaking age. She looks like a darn teenager. And she got grown kids. I'm like, you what? So yes, raw foods can absolutely change your life. I'm not no raw foodie yet, but I love the
right. You do stop the aging process too.
I believe that. I believe that. So, and like you said, the energy is amazing. And it's optimal for womb health. I mean, everything is better when you eat lighter and you eat more live food. I can't stress enough urban kryptonite and teaching about how dead food, you expecting it to give you life and you wonder why you got to go lay down because you're tired. But you just ate something dead, and we don't really realize that because we've been doing it for so many years and we just so conditioned and so used to eating a certain way, living a certain lifestyle. And I know it's hard. Like my son has almost every freaking allergy under the sun, and it's the hardest. He gets invited to birthday parties every month, but I always have to feed him before we go because he can't eat anything there. It's always going to be dairy. We just can't do it. So you do have to adjust your lifestyle and not feel like you have to fit in when you get there. Well, it was the only thing that was there, so I ate it. Well, you don't have to eat there, and not to offend anybody, but it's like you learn over time, but it is amazing. But thanks, Lucretia. I'm going to go ahead and mute you back out, sis.
Okay.
All right, y'all. It is 9:45. I'm not going to hold anybody else, but if someone has a burning question, please quickly unmute your line and let us know what it is that you want to ask or any comments or any questions. Like I said, you can email me at whippedessentials@gmail.com. If you want more information about the soap, the Fresh Cleansing Bar, you can go to www.ilovebeingfresh.com, all one word. And if you're not on our Facebook group, go ahead and join us there at www.facebook.com/groups/fresh ladies. Ladies on the call, if there is another call that you want me to go into greater detail on something of, feel free to email me with those suggestions. I want to get you what it is that you're looking for. So that is my goal with these fresh calls. I do also plan to have a membership site coming up soon where we're going to talk about womb things. It's going to be, I'll go into that another time, but that's coming up, so look forward to that. The vaginal steaming is coming up for all my folks in North Carolina. That's coming up. Whipped Essentials and Fresh it's such a big vision, and I'm just glad that every day that I wake up, Spirit is sending me something that is opening doors for me to move this journey forward, and I'm truly grateful for that, and I give thanks. And I give thanks for you all being on this call tonight. And again, like I said, take care of the womb of your mind, your body, and your spirit so that it can take care of you. Love and light, peace and blessings. And you ladies have a great night. I will see you on the next call.